A woman made a TikTok video where she explained what she did on her Saturday morning when she is single and has no kids. And she explained how she keeps thinking, I need to wake up, but I don't because I have nothing to do. And then she watched documentaries and looked up recipes and how, you can lead a life doing what you want to do, blah, blah, blah. Matt Walsh criticized her, basically talking about how she's single and life is good. I also responded. Now she has responded to Matt. It's turned into a big story. I think it's kind of funny, but it brings up a lot of culturally interesting questions around being single, not having a family, but more importantly, not having purpose. Here's my quick view, and then we'll jump into all this. I'll play the video for you. This woman is coping. She put out a video coping with the fact that she has no meaning or purpose, whether that's family or otherwise. I don't think you need to have a family and kids to be fulfilled, but certainly you should have a mission or drive in life. And I don't bring this up as some kind of personal opinion. In fact, we see this quite a bit. The woman actually talks about how she watches a documentary on blue zones. And one of the most important things about blue zones is purpose. Blue zones are parts of the world where they have a disproportionate amount of centenarians, people who live to be over 100 years old. One of the driving forces is that you have a mission and purpose in life. But if you find yourself struggling to wake up because you have nothing to do, you are at risk in this situation. Now, in my view, no one who feels fulfilled and has a life to carry on needs to make a video justifying why it's okay and why they feel good. Typically, it's called coping, a coping mechanism. When you are suffering from something, you go to someone else, say, actually, it's okay that I wake up at 11 a.m. and have no family or mission or drive, and I'm just watching documentaries and making random food dishes. Because you're hoping they validate you and tell you it's all going to be okay. Because deep down you feel something isn't right. We now have Why So Much Hate? Mark Cuban eviscerates Stephen Miller and Matt Walsh for attack on single women. Yeah, look, it's not even about single women. It's not even about being single. It's not about kids. Who am I to talk? I don't got kids. And a lot of people are like, you should have kids. No. To a certain degree, I do think people should have children, and spare me working on it. My point is, you should have purpose in life. It's good for you. You should have passion and drive. Well, here's the video. Let me play for you the video in question. It's only about a minute and a half long, and then we will discuss.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone and I saw a picture of shakshuka and I thought, what sounds really good? Maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today. Because I have no plans and I don't have kids and I don't have a husband and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. So that's on my agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix about blue zone countries. So I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and I don't have kids, and I should be further along at 29, almost 30, I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. And I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to, really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should be in life.
Full stop. It's a cope. I think most of you would agree. I mean, no disrespect to this woman. I hope she finds a husband and she has a family. I hope she finds purpose. But her video is her quite literally saying, I'm wondering why I'm not further along. How come I'm not at this point in my life? And then she gets to this point where she's like, I have to find a way to be happy and justify why I'm not where I want to be. Matt Walsh says, her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids, so instead it revolves around TV shows and pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is. I actually disagree with Matt Walsh, and I don't think you should be hating on her. She's outright saying in the video, I want to be further along in life. I'm almost 30. Man, I feel for her. I think we've got serious social and cultural problems that are resulting in this circumstance. But that's my response to her. It's clearly a coping mechanism. And I don't mean it to be mean. I mean it to be honest. She's outright saying, I want to be further along in life, but you know what? I'm not going to be hard on myself because at least I get to just relax all day and do these things. And I'm like, wow, look, I'm working on the family thing, kind of personal, so I don't get too much into it. But I wake up every day and I work just about 16 hours. I love it. There was this media smear attempt on me and they were like, you claim to work 16 hours, but people have said that's a lie. And I'm like, dude, my first video goes live in the morning at 10 a.m. and my last video goes live at like 11 p.m. And they're like, okay, clearly, I'm working a lot longer than just that because I have to record the video. I have to do the reading. But this is my day. Every day I wake up. I have obligations. I have duties. I have responsibilities. There is no point at which I'm laying in bed being like, maybe I should just lay here. That is not how I operate. And I feel physical pain. It's funny, like people have nightmares where it's like they're being chased by a murder. I have nightmares that I miss business deadlines, that like I missed a meeting or didn't do a transfer or like forgot to file some government requirements or whatever. Because this is my purpose. I wake up and I work every single day. And to varying degrees, I have time off on the weekends, but even the weekends, we're still working, doing meetings and planning. So here's the latest development. Why so much hate? Mark Cuban eviscerates. Well, to be fair, I would say to Matt Walsh, why would you tell this woman she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is? It's not that she's too stupid. It's she knows it's depressing and she's desperately trying to find some happiness. She knows something is wrong in her heart of hearts. But what should she do? Wallow in self-pity? That's not going to help solve her problem. She wants to be married and have kids. It is kind of sad. Look, kids are awesome. Teaching them how to play games, explaining concepts. The thing about, let me tell you about skateboarding. When, if you're new to skateboarding and you go to a skate park, or if you have kids that are into skateboarding, other skateboarders would love to teach you or your kid some new tricks, how to kickflip, how to tray flip, how to pop shove it, how to do nose grinds, whatever. People love sharing knowledge. It feels great. And you can do that when you have kids. She knows it. She gets it. But what is she supposed to do? Wallow in self-pity? She made a video where she was like, she's basically saying to this woman who feels similarly, you don't have to be super angry and upset that you're not where you want to be. I think there's a better message. That's why I say it's a coping mechanism. Her message should be, don't be depressed. Don't be angry. It's not easy. And there are a lot of problems that we face. Find happiness and joy in your day where you can. But the only way you change your circumstances is if you do wake up at 9 a.m. 9's late. I wake up at 7. Come on. Even on weekends. And I go to bed around like 1. I try to sleep more, but I wake up when I wake up. I fall asleep when I fall asleep. If this lady is saying I shouldn't wake up, ma'am, if you really are wondering why you're not further along in life, it's because you sleep too much. You're getting drunk out with Beyonce at 1 a.m. and then going to bed, waking up hungover. That's not conducive to starting a family. Perhaps this is the cultural problem we face. Young men are becoming incels or MGTOW or whatever. And there's a lot of people who embrace MGTOW as men going their own way. Do whatever you want to do, man. But I'm telling you, it takes hard work. You want to be a better person? Exercise, eat right, learn a skill. There are too many lost young men and lost women. And I think this is dangerous. Cuban replied to Walsh, says the guy whose life revolves around Twitter and X. At this point, former Trump administration official Stephen Miller jumped in. He says, you have a large following. People listen to your advice. What would you say is a more fulfilling path for adults, starting a family or sleeping late and watching TV? What advice would you give someone who suggests they wish to be childless so they can stream more shows? No. The woman wants kids. He said, I wouldn't give her advice unless she asked. No, sorry. That's the stupidest thing ever. It's like, there's like a weird feminist thing where it's like, did she ask for your advice? Bro, I'm going to tell people what I think. I have opinions. If we're going to talk, this lady puts out a public declaration. She puts out a video to the world for which people can see. We respond to that public speech. We're allowed. After looking at the comments to her post, I would thank her for offering a place for people who can relate to her to engage and have a conversation. Sure. Thanks for asking, Steven. He says, okay, from a business perspective, I would tell her That the wellness space is crowded, but if she does this in addition to her job, she might be able to build a nice business. As far as family, I would tell her to do whatever she thinks is best for her. It's none of my effing business. That's stupid. I would say, ma'am, in your video, you explained that you want to be married and have kids, and you're wondering why you're not further along. I am going to state my opinion, and I don't care if you listen, tell me I'm dumb, or tell me thank you for the feedback. I'm going to say this to anyone else who might hear this. You are not going to find a life partner laying in bed late and making shakshuka. You will find a life partner by doing something you enjoy in public where other people are. There you go. Go to a laundromat. You might meet somebody there. Go to a restaurant or a grocery store. Try and meet, you're probably better off finding some hobby. For women, I think it's a lot easier because men are out doing hobbies all the time. And, figure out what it is you like. Do you like cooking? Why don't you go to a cooking class where they teach making shakshuka or whatever? I think shakshuka is food. And there will be some guys there and you can introduce yourself. Maybe you click, maybe you don't, but you have to put in the effort. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe she does. Then it's not directed at you. But the message that goes out there, it looks like I lay in bed saying what's the point of getting up? I don't know. You could get up early and go to the library and you might meet somebody. You can go to a park and maybe get a dog. And this is the advice I give guys. It's like, you get a little dog, you get some kind of poodle mix. Everybody loves poodle mixes. Get a golden doodle and you walk your dog down, or like a shepherd of some sort. I don't know. Maybe border collies are good. Border collies are real good because they're high energy. And you, go for a walk on the beach with your dog. And then guess what? Everyone's going to be talking to you like, oh, can we pet your dog? Easiest conversation starter in the world. And people open up to you. I see nowadays you've got these videos. There's one viral video where a guy walks up to a girl and he introduces himself. They talk. He gets her phone number. And they're like, this is how you do it, guys. And there are women being like, that's so creepy. Don't talk to women like that. Okay, if you're worried about that, you get a dog. All right. You got to work. You got to eat healthy. You got to exercise. You have to be responsible for your self-improvement. Get a dog. Ma'am, you could do this too. Women can do this. Men can do this. And you go walk on the beach and you are going to see people be like, oh, can I pet your dog? What's your dog's name? Oh, my dog is this. Bang. Conversation starts. Now you get to avoid all of that. Oh, are you being creepy or not creepy? Some people don't have the social skills. You got to work on it. You know, what's funny to me is the hatred for the red pill community stuff. If you're a dude who doesn't know how to socialize, you would greatly benefit from learning any kind of social behaviors and getting training from someone who probably does understand how to communicate effectively and getting feedback on what is or isn't appropriate. Not going to be easy. Life is not easy. Some people naturally go through these periods where they develop these skills and some people don't. I see these posts online where it's like, I'm scared to go outside. I've never properly socialized with people. It's like, well, you got to start somewhere and you've got to relax. And maybe you're a weirdo. Maybe people won't like you. Then find the place where people do. Find the place where you do fit in. Miller shoots back, saying, in the interest of time, I will respond with 2 points. No society can succeed where the constant message from our elites and leaders is to do whatever you want and don't worry about children. Children are simply the most important thing in the world and the foundation of civilization and all human flourishing. Right, like making more people. They're going to argue, and I'm not super interested, but she did respond. And she responded similarly to what Mark was saying. And the criticisms of her was that she shakes her head the whole time she talks. And I'm like, that's whatever, man. The internet is the internet. Fine. So be it. I think I made my point. And I feel bad for this lady. She doesn't have to accept that I feel bad for her. It doesn't matter how she thinks about me or anyone else. It doesn't matter what she thinks about Matt or anyone. The idea that people are sending her nasty messages is the stupidest thing ever. And people shouldn't do it. People shouldn't do that. The answer and the response to this is simple. Ma'am, you should make yourself get up early. You should go out and get exercise. You should go for a run. You should join a group of people that do something. Maybe you don't like running. Maybe that's not your thing. But I think the answer is simple. If you want to be further along in life, you must take the effort. And that means you want to make food? Go make food in a cooking class where you can meet people. As for the stupid social media stuff, Stephen Miller's right. Mark Cuban is just arguing for no apparent reason, whatever. But I hope everybody finds their happiness and realizes it's going to come down to you being responsible for yourself. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all then.